This video will answer the question, why is there an obesity epidemic in the United States? Hi, I'm Eric Leo. I'm actually a hip hop artist. I go by Eric Leo 108. Yes, you can find me on DSPs like Spotify, Apple Music, and Amazon Music. I have more than 200 tracks and songs with major artists like Snoop Dogg and Gucci Mane. I'm also an author of about 10 books and a scientist with a degree in sociology from Eastern Michigan University with certificates in nutrition. I wrote this script that I'm reading from my phone. I don't have time to memorize it or edit really good. This is the best I can come up with for the time crunch I have. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video. All right, let's get into it. A little bit about my personal fitness journey. I was in wicked good shape in high school and college. We're talking run 5 miles in a sweatsuit, then do HIIT exercises, high intensity interval training for 2 hours after. I got diagnosed with schizophrenia and was a normal body weight until in my 30s, where my severe mental illness made me overeat. I gained weight, then I haven't been able to maintain weight loss. And that's the key. Why have I not been able to maintain weight loss? Put it in the comments what you think before we go any further. Okay, I'm going to sell the farm here. So why haven't I been able to maintain weight loss? Because I can't afford it. Continue with me and I'll explain why. Due to my mental illness, I've lost everything multiple times. I've been stable for 8 years, but I haven't been able to break out of poverty and the disability system. I don't have access to foods that are high in protein, fiber, and micronutrients. And I can't access them because I'm priced out of the market, meaning I can't afford them. Look, I have both a much better than average understanding of nutrition and experience with muscle growth and weight loss. I know what it takes. I've lost 50 pounds twice, but each time I gained it all back, and it really comes down to this: good food is expensive. In general, there is an affordability crisis. However, thanks to Ansel Keys, America took out protein and fiber and replaced fat with sugar. So food in the United States is often so engineered and processed and hyper-palatable, health food tastes bland. I would love to know what the Liams and James of the world think about this theory. Besides affordability, it seems that anything healthy in America or anything with more protein has a premium price point. Basically, protein and nutrient-dense foods make you more satiated by satisfying your cravings, leading to less consumption of food, contributing to greater weight loss. I was actually going to go to the restaurant and show receipts, but I'm only going to do that if I get 1,000 likes on this video. If I get 1,000 likes, I'll make part 2, film in public and show receipts. But here's my bridge card, aka EBT, aka food stamps, aka welfare. In preparation to get kicked off food stamps for making too much money from my books and music, I made a food budget. I'll put it up on the screen. It's $667 a month, and EBT covers about 200 of it. Side note, it's getting harder to prove my income. I have like 7 sources of income, all from distributors, and it's only a few dollars from each, but they need statements with my name on it and they don't format it that way. Make a long story short, it's also a hassle while being holistically inadequate. In other words, accessibility of benefits is also a challenge. Because nutritious food is more expensive and processed food is cheaper and more available, I'm forced to spend my money on food that's not as healthy and gonna satiate me as well, and is higher in calories, leading to more weight gain. This is universal. Salads cost more than burgers and fries. In my town, you can get a double cheeseburger for $7.50 or 2 Whoppers for $5 at Burger King, but a salad at Culver's costs $10. I literally live off $950 a month. $667 minus 200 is 467. 950 minus 467 is 483. Minus 300 for rent and 150 for utilities, and insurance leaves me about $33 every month for everything else. If I have to save money, it literally comes out of my food budget, which means I have to buy cheap food, which means it won't be high in protein and or nutritionally dense. This is why I have to go to a food bank most months. My phone died, so this is how we're finishing it. This is just my story. With minimum wage not being a living wage, the same scenario is happening to average Americans with slightly larger numbers. To get back to the question at the beginning, to put it succinctly, cheap food isn't nutritious and leads to weight gain. 60% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. Americans have to buy cheap food because they can't afford anything else. Therefore, that 60%, which makes up most Americans, will be forced to buy inferior foods that cause weight gain. This weight gain leads to obesity. Therefore, Americans are obese due to financial and economic constraints and environmental forces rather than being lazy or unmotivated. It basically doesn't matter how hard you try, it's a matter of affordability and accessibility, not personal motivation. To make things better, food stamp allowance should be way more. You should be able to use it at fast food. Nutritious food should be subsidized to make them cheaper. Foods rich in micronutrients, protein, and fiber should be subsidized by the government. For every $3 you pay for a fast food burger, the government pays $7. There's no reason we shouldn't do this for more nutritious food. In general, if you want to solve the obesity epidemic, you're going to have to address the real core issues like affordability and accessibility and stop blaming the individual for a problem that is really environmental and driven by economic policy. If you like this video and would like to know more, you would like my book, The American Nightmare Project: Hard Work, No Money, and Why the U.S. is Unlivable, which you can find at farminghumans.com. This will also be in my Helm 108 school community. If you found this valuable, leave a comment telling me what you found most helpful and what should I talk about in part 2 if this gets 1,000 likes. Thanks for watching. And it's Tuesday, so I'm off to the food bank.